we're going to talk about this shirt, which is a long sleeve new edition of a tour shirt from 2012, which we made for Japan, a Japanese tour, hence the katakana. This image was created by an Italian artist named Stefano Girardi, and he he contacted me just out of curiosity and wanted to make a connection, and offered to make some artwork for the band. And he does like experimental engraver pieces. So I gave him some direction and a mission based on an idea of a grizzly bear catching a salmon. And that comes from a reference to, honestly, it comes from a reference from the Pacific Northwest where Greg and I grew up. But Greg had a band called Engine Kid in the 90s, which I was a huge fan of, and before we played music together. And they had they had the phrase bear catching fish in their vernacular, and it's a kind of memorial of that also. So this shirt, Stefano delivered this really beautiful, incredible image, and then I guess all the ingredients just stacked up to make something really unique and cool. And this shirt has been really popular, and it's one of my favorites that I've designed for the band. Even if the band name is not even the logo, which we licensed from Fender, by the way, is not even on the shirt. And to translate SUNN into katakana and magnitude, which is what this is the translation. This was quite complicated because this part became kind of phonetic, but also we had to choose the right characters that represented certain ideas as well, of course. And so someone out there will know exactly what this says, but my memory tells me it was a kind of volcanic magnitude event. Is somehow represented in those words. I am not fluent in Japanese at all, but it was a fun project to collaborate with the Japanese friends for the language. Yeah, and we also have a nice sleeve print here, which is, for me, sleeve prints always remind me of old earache records, death metal shirts, but they would always have, they would have like 20 earache records logos on one screen or whatever, or one sleeve. But here we just have a long logo.
I think it's the best-selling design in the store. What do you think that is? Why that much?
Well, I think it relates, the popularity of it, or the attraction relates to something we were just discussing a bit about mythology, and also a bit about mystery, because there's a lot of symbols in there, and symbols are put in place for a specific reason to draw the eye and the mind to suggest certain things, which are more or less coherent depending on the use of them. In the case of this, it's very literal, actually, the use of symbols. This, when you're looking at a language or an alphabet that you don't understand, it's essentially a string of symbols at that point. Like Cyrillic would be the same for me, or Coptic, or Hebrew. Like I can't read those alphabets. The meaning of the symbols together as language would be very similar to the Roman alphabet, but I just can't read those. So that it becomes something else, like interpretational. And I think the mystery of that somehow bridges with the symbolic nature of the logo to create something quite attractive. And it also, in a paradoxical way, moves a little bit away from the brand of SUNN. So it could be taken out of context a bit. There's something with our merch too, where people can wear it without being like metalheads or coming from these different bubbles in the Venn diagram of music only. They become symbolic, artistic pieces somehow. And I think this design probably goes as far as we've gotten with that on the silkscreen stuff. This is something we then are experimenting with the embroidery, to take the symbol a little bit, not to take it away from that scene, because we respect that scene and the fans, of course, but to rather like open it up a bit more too. So other people who might not spend their, their identity in that space can still like access it and stuff. And that's a direction and challenge that I like to work with. It's like, how can you get it more open? How can you open it up to more people? Not to make it more accessible, because of course there's no illusion about it's not something that will ever be mainstream or popular, but there is a lot of curiosity there on an artistic level, and I think there should be, the challenges to engage with what we're doing shouldn't be limited by simply those more simple aspects. I think the conceptual, artistic questions and challenges are more important. So if more people can engage with those, that is positive. It's not as strategic as that, designing something like this, but in retrospect, I see that that's one of the keys that it's done, as far as from a design perspective, yeah.